Hello, viewers around the globe. This is Dr. Afshan Hashmi in her Glam and Glitzy Book Club, and today I am going to discuss this book, Brio of Spies. Here the book is, and it is called Brio of Spies: The Secret Connections Between Espionage and Journalism in Washington by Stephen T. Austin. And here is the book. And before starting the review, let me remind you that please go and buy these two books, The Modern Mughal Mentality: New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. This was a business book where I devised a business model and which is called Jugaad Management Principle Business Model. And this one is the outbreak of a monstrous infection, wherein a very unique story I told about bioterrorism. When this book came in 2019, there was no trace of coronavirus, and it there is a virus which spreads in this book and ruins the human population, and there is a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population. So these two books were bestsellers on Amazon, and now there is audio book of this book. And if you would like to get an audio book, it is available wherever audiobooks are sold, at Amazon, Audible, and like Barnes and Noble, and everywhere wherever audiobooks are available on Kobo. So please go and buy these two books, and these two books were Amazon bestsellers. So people have appreciated my work, and I also run a company where I am the managing member, and it is called Dr. Afshan Hashmi's Consulting Group LLC, and I am the managing member there, and I run author services. So if you have needs to write a book, or you have ghost writing services, or if you want me to narrate your books, or do beta reading reviews of your books and cosmetics and movies, then that the website to go is www.afshanhashmi.com and www.drafshanhashmi.com. Having said that, friends, let me start the review of this book here, The Brio of Spies. And it was a very fascinating book for me because I had the opportunity to meet the author. So let's see what I have for you today. Brio of Spies: The Secret Connections Between Espionage and Journalism in Washington. About the author, let me first read about the author. Stephen D. Usdin is the author of Engineering Communism: How Two Americans Spied for Stalin and Founded the Soviet Silicon Valley. He has written extensively about Cold War espionage and has been invited to present papers to and participate on panels about espionage issues organized by the National Security Agency, Woodrow Wilson Center for Scholars, the National Archives, International Spy Museum, and other organizations. Ustin is the Washington editor of BioCentury. His reporting focuses on the intersection of public policy and biomedicine. He has lived and worked in Japan, Italy, Britain, and Hong Kong, and has traveled extensively in Russia and the former Soviet Union, Turkey, and Central and South America. So, this I got about the author on his Amazon page. From Amazon, I got this, and now I will read about the book. Brings to light the long history of spies posing as journalists in Washington, covert intelligence gathering, propaganda, fake news stories, dirty tricks. These tools of spycraft has been used for 7 decades by agents hiding in plain sight in Washington's National Press Building. This revealing book tells the story of espionage conducted by both US and foreign intelligence operatives just blocks from the White House. Journalist Stephen T. Usdin details how spies for Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan, the Soviet Union, and the CIA have opened operated from the offices, corridors, and bars of this well known press center to collect military, political, and commercial secrets. As the authors extensive research shows efforts to influence American elections by foreign governments are nothing new, and WikiLeaks is not the first anti secrecy group to dump huge quantities of classified data into the public domain. Among other cases, the book documents the work of a journalist who created a secret intelligence organization that reported directly to President Franklin Roosevelt and two generations of Soviet spies who operated undercover as task reporters and ran circles around the FBI. The author also reveals the important roles played by journalists in the Cuban Missile Crisis and presents information about a spy involved in the Watergate break in who had earlier spied on Republican presidential candidate Barry Goldwater for then President Lyndon Johnson, based on interviews with retired CIA, NSA, FBI, and KGB officers, as well as declassified and leaked intelligence documents. This fascinating historical narrative shows how the worlds of journalism and intelligence sometimes overlap and highlights the ethical quandaries that espionage invariably creates. And now this is the book I'm talking about which I was reading. So now, friends, I will read the editorial reviews, and this also I got from Amazon. Review editorial reviews. For decades, spies have been busily at work plying their trade just a few blocks from the White House. In his richly documented new book, respected journalist Steve Austin reveals the cloak and dagger exploits by outliers of his profession Russians, Brits, Germans, French, Japanese, and Americans who operated from the convenient cover of the National Press building, packed with eye popping tradecraft of spy versus spy gambits. Brio of Spies is a must read. Richard Venice, DC lawyer, CNN legal analyst, former Watergate prosecutor, and member of 9/11 Commission. A remarkable journey into the exciting world of espionage and journalism, beautifully written and extensively researched. Ustin casts a wide net and masterfully weaves many intriguing historical accounts of professional journalists who worked as spies and professional spies who worked as journalists during some of the major crises and events of the 20th century. Each case he covers is a fascinating read and results in an extremely enjoyable and important book. Jeffrey D. Simon, PhD, author of Lone Wolf Terrorism Understanding the Growing Threat. Now is the third one. A fascinating, meticulously researched study of Cold War espionage and the manipulation of fake news by intelligence agencies on both sides. Nigel West, intelligence historian. A fascinating examination of the role journalists have played in the games of espionage over the last century is brought to life in this enlightening new work. Mark Zatt, Washington, D.C. National Security Attorney. As historian of the National Press Club, I am well aware of the historic events that have happened there since the club's founding in 1908, but I was astounded by Steve Austin's account of the intrigue boiling just below the surface at the National Press building from the time it opened in 1927. In journalism school, students are warned not to become embroiled in spying for the government, but as Austin recounts here, that has not stopped pseudo journalists and even a couple of real ones from taking advantage of building filled with reporters and columnists from around the world. And who knew that the British engaged in fake news and meddled in US elections before World War II? It all must have made interesting whispers in the club's famed bar. This is a great tale and I highly recommend it. And this is Gil Clean, former National Club Press Club president, chair of the Press Club's History and Heritage Committee, editor of Reliable Sources 100 Years at the National Press Club, and author of Trouble in Lafayette Square, Assassination, Protest, and Murder at the White House. With the study centered around the National Press Building, not only does Brio of Spies discuss in great detail Soviet efforts to influence American journalists, but it also examines the efforts of both British and intelligence and FDR to undermine the American First Movement that opposed US entry into the struggle against Nazi Germany during the Second World War. The book likewise discusses efforts of the American Liberty League to propagandize for an end to prohibition, not just for the freedom to drink, but also to reduce income taxes for the wealthy once the sales tax on alcohol began to evaporate, thereby creating a deep federal budget deficit. The book reveals how methods of media manipulation and fake news, both before and during the Cold War, compare and contrast with today's higher tech methods. Well worth reading. Brio of Spies is a real tour de force that provides historical background for all concerned with the present dangers confronting liberty and accuracy of the press. Hale Gardner, author of World War Trump. And now, as I always do, I will read two Amazon reviews which I got from Amazon page of this book, which I liked. And here it is. Many times, if you hear the word history, you assume academic. Read boring, read will follow. It is not true with this book by Steve Austin. From my view of international historian, this is a well researched, footnoted, professionally done work, but at the same time, it is written in a lively, non academic language which tells the story in a clear and exciting way. I spent half night reading after I bought the book, unable to stop. Making history readable is a great achievement of the author. As all books about the location, place, building area, you should not look for the single subject line, walls, and corridors which links those stories do not count, but rather think of it as a collection of fun and exciting essays which you can tell over the lunch and to which you can relate easily. People say it is too political. You could never write about the spies and history without politics, except you see all parts of the spectrum represented there, from Soviet spies to British agents in US to WW2 Nazi collaborations, all coming under the same roof literary. On the good side, this is a competently written series of accounts tied to the National Press Club building in Washington. Many of the stories are either entertaining or interesting. So the second review starts from here. On the good side, this is a competently, the first one finished, and now the second one starts from here. On the good side, this is a competently written series of accounts tied to the National Press Club building in Washington. Many of the stories are either entertaining or interesting. On the bad side, the stories don't add up too much. The biggest problem is a few the biggest problem is few of them involved the author's claimed subject, ostensible journalists working as covert agents. We need to open agents and government representatives who work as journalists and secret agents who might have listed journalists as an occupation but made no serious effort to practice. Some stories mention genuine working journalists who took payments from foreign governments for non-secret information and failed to disclose those payments to readers. There are covert activities by official government agencies to mislead journalists. There have been many journalist spies, but you don't find them in this book. Worse, many of the stories concern neither journalists nor spies. There is a chapter on James True, who published fascist rants in the 1930s and openly cooperated with Nazi Germany, but who did not report news and wrote his allegations openly. The American Liberty League is featured in another chapter, a group backed mainly by wealthy Democrats that opposed the New Deal so unsuccessfully even the Republicans disavowed it. It has no connection to either journalism or espionage. This chapter is particularly odd because the account draws heavily on hysterical or perhaps deceitful contemporary accounts that widely exaggerated both the power and evil of the organization. The overall picture is dispiriting lies and corruption from governments and reporters, with evil fanatics taking more seriously than sober analysis. I expected a conclusion calling for more government honesty and openness and a lot less spying and skepticism about credentialed journalists tied to large business organizations and dependent on confidential sources. This book would seem to be an argument for tearing down the old boys club, deciding what the public should be told and replacing it with independent reporting based on documents and on the record codes. However, the author seems to favor a return to Neverland, a world in which governments spy on everyone but don't use journalists as cover, and where journalists adhering to the highest ethical standards choose what news is fit to print, leaving aside whether or not this would be a desirable system. How could it possibly be implemented? Wishing and hoping and thinking and praying. I recommend this book to readers interested, a series of historical vignettes, clearly, if not stylishly recounted. They are backed by good research, much of which is not well known, but undercut by an hashtag resist interpretation of history which fits the 20th century badly. It is not a good source to think deeply about the dangers of mixing journalism with espionage. So this was the two Amazon reviews which I like, and I will give my analysis of the to this book after I read little bit from the book. Note from the author, and this is what it is. This book is a history of the connections between intelligence and journalism, of spies who pretended to be reporters and reporters who dabbled as spies, told by examining covert activities that occurred in a building 4 blocks from the White House, the National Press Building. Conducted properly, spying leaves few traces. Some of the stories in Trio of Spies have been revealed because government no longer feel compelled to keep them secrets. Others were revealed when Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan found themselves on the wrong side of history and were forced to disgorge their success. So, this is a little bit from the note from the author, and let me read some stories. So, a popular spy, and I'm reading, this is one of the chapters, and I'm reading from there. There was, however, one important thing that Rom didn't know he wasn't the only Soviet spy in Yosemite Park. In an extraordinary coincidence, Rom spent much of the meeting spatting with a member of the Japanese delegation, a young journalist who, like Rom, was an expert on China and unknown to Rom, a spy for Stalin. So there are many stories in it and they are very interesting. And now is chapter 9, fake news. A new line, black lettering neatly drawn on the glass door of Suite 1059 of the National Press Building in the spring of 1941, spelling out overseas news agencies, was the first sign in Washington of one of BSC's most intriguing enterprises. ONA had been launched in July 1940 as an adjunct to the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. GTA informed newspapers that the ONA's mission was to gather and distribute news about minorities in Europe, supplementing news coverage of other services. So there are many stories, friends, and this is the book saying. And now I will read like a little my review of the book, and here I go. So, this is my review of this book. I had the honor of meeting the author in Politics and Prose in Washington, D.C. when he came to talk about this book in this bookstore. Bookstore was jam packed with people where everyone was buying the book and getting it signed by the author. I also brought a copy and got it signed by the author, and I will show you what he signed for me. And here it is. So I bought the book and then also got it signed from him. The Washington Press. So now I continue my review. The Washington Press Club is the house of numerous journalists that determine the pulse of the country's resources. However, it likewise keeps tabs on the globe. The background of National Press Club Journalism Club has actually been rife with sources as well as spies. The National Press Club was created as a meeting place for scribes to unwind, relax, as well imbibe. The various participants throughout the years labored over their typewriters, scratching out the most to-date duplicate in a bid to scoop their fellow charter member. The members of National Press Club came from throughout the world. The links to reconnaissance as well as leaking into began with Robert Allen in 1933 when he traded details with the Soviets. The procuring of government papers, chatter, or propaganda would happen frequently over the following 70 plus years, however, wasn't restricted to just one writer. The reasons for the duplicity would certainly differ from money to nationalism. The motives by the countries affecting the journalists would alter also. The integrity of the created world would certainly suffer over time. Brio of spies is an all including consider the dangers of investigative journalism. The stories told within are loaded with daring do as well as reckless abandon, yet those that live the danger are not seen with wonder but hesitation. The duplicitous nature of their ventures are much more unsafe in the long run. The author has actually composed a compelling subject of journalism, and so I give this book 5 stars. So this was my analysis, friends, and this is the book I'm talking. I was reviewing Bureau of Spies: The Secret Connections Between Espionage and Journalism in Washington. Having said that, friends, and if you haven't bought this book, go and buy this book, and you will love this book. There are so many interesting stories which you don't see as such. So now, friends, I just want to remind you that please go and buy my books, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace, as well as The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. And these two books are available wherever books are sold. And recently, the audiobook was released, and I have narrated that. And these two books were bestsellers on Amazon. So if you have needs to write a book, or ghost writing services, or if you want an idea how to develop a best selling book idea with the book in your hand, from plan to book in your hand, or if you want unlimited traffic to your Amazon page or your website, or you want beta reader services, or if you want review of your books, beauty products, and cosmetics, then you can contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And I have a radio come TV show which is merged from December 16, 2020, and now the radio show is merged into a TV show from the same station, W4WN and Talk 4 Media TV show. And I in my radio show I had 300 million listeners. So now this with this TV show merging into it will have more listeners. So if you want to advertise there, or if you want to come as a guest on my radio come TV show, then please write to me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. Or if you want to come on my TV show on Fox 5 Plus of GTV, a broadcast is on Fox 5 Plus, which has 6.2 million listeners, and the outreach there is of Washington DC area. So please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com, and go to my website www.afshanhashmi.com and www.drafshanhashmi.com, or my radio show website https://www.drafshanhashmisradio uh, uh, dot com. So if you have those kind of needs, go and see what services I give, and do advertise on my radio and TV shows, and you will love the promotion. And I give promotion in a very very nominal price. Having said that, these are my two books which were Amazon bestsellers, so please go and buy these two books. And now, friends, cheers. And this is your loving host, Dr. Afshan Hashmi, now signing off from this book club meeting. And if you want to become a member of this book club, the membership is $50 per year, and then you will have say in what books to come, or choose, as well as, yeah, I can be in conversation with you in on this. So cheers and bye bye. And now I end this session.